All right, the funeral procession for now Sergeant Fitzgerald has reached the area around Temple University. This is where he worked, obviously, but it's also where he lost his life last Saturday night at about 7:15.
So currently they're about to pass Temple Police Station as they then make their way to the cathedral.
Ben, can you tell me what exact street this is? Because it's too thin to be Broad. Okay, but it's just off Broad Street.
And of course, they left it about 40 minutes ago from the Givness Funeral Home, where he'd been and where there was also a wake last night.
Where thousands turned out. Then they went by his home where he lived with his wife and children. And then they got on I-95. And then got off at Broad Street and headed northbound. Obviously, they're on their way to 18th and the Parkway and Basilica. All right, let's be quiet as the first one.
As you can see, there are members of the Temple community who have come out to pay their respects.
Police, force personnel. I saw some firefighters down there, too.
And it looked like some from Temple Hospital as well.
Temple Hospital's
Some
right
folks
there.
in scrubs.
This is just so sad and heartbreaking. Why did this happen?
It's hard not to get emotional, especially considering when we've learned so much about Sergeant Fitzgerald and the work that he did in the community to stop violence.
That's right.
Only for it to take his life.
In such a senseless way, too. Like a 18-year-old goes in and tries to rob a store with his brother and just comes out and assassinates this police officer.
And so now as they make their way to the cathedral and we see the folks who are standing outside of the cathedral to receive him, he will be transferred by pallbearers who are with the Temple University Police Department, and then Reverend G. Dennis Gill, who's the rector of the Cathedral Basilica, will preside over the reception of the body. And then the public visitation will immediately follow, and it will continue up until about 11 o'clock when they get ready for the service.
Yeah, they're a little bit behind schedule, but that's to be, we certainly understand that. I know they apparently slowed way down when they went past his home.
Because the family is there. The family won't be
there.
leaving until a couple hours from now to head toward the cathedral. So.
Again, we're expecting by the time this funeral begins at 11:30, thousands and thousands of police officers from around America, many, many states, and as far as away as California and Oregon, have come in for this funeral.
And just so many people from the community as well, not just from the, the Brothers in Blue, but also community members, the people that he worked with, the run clubs, the folks that he, worked with that. There's just so many lives and people that he touched, Temple students who want to pay their respects and are touched by his life and want to show up. They want to show up.
Oh, people don't even know him, obviously, are standing out there and want to show up.
And of course, we want to remind folks that the family has requested, in lieu of flowers, that donations be made to the GoFundMe, because as we know, he was a married father, and to support his wife and his children and his family. And it really is, when you look at the official obituary, to see the list of surviving family members and how long it is. So many family members are dealing with this loss.
Let's see if we can pick up what, okay. Can't quite pick up where they are now. Can you?
Looks like they're passing Temple. They're about to pass the,
Is that Leah
Leah Chorus?
I think it is, yeah. I think it's Leah Chorus.
Right now, this is Leah Chorus right here.
There you go. So, Ben, have they turned around? Are they headed southbound again now? Okay. Could we get Ben down here then? Thank you.
So they're making their way down Broad Street, and it really is something because this is his final,
Yeah.
passing through of the community that he served.
I think
a
another
Temple
reason why-
police officer. And in 2022, he was recognized as Officer of the Year for his service
I know.
for the Temple Police Department. So
That's
to
just
have
last
this
year.
moment, this final moment where he's going to be passing by, it is significant.
I think Philly wants to come out because he's a Philly guy, through and through. Big sports fan.
So much so that is its own paragraph in his official obituary. They say that Chris was an avid Philly sports fan and was known for his humor and community service. And they also mention that he spent much of his time running through the most violent neighborhoods in Philadelphia to address the gun violence epidemic, among other volunteer efforts.
And everybody talks about he's such a conduit between the general community and the police department. And we all know that there's been a strained relationship between some of our neighborhoods and the police department. He was trying to do his best. He was just kind of like a really good cop. You know what I mean?
And we've spoken from folks who knew him at different postings that he had with the sheriff's office.
Oh, that's right. Worked for the sheriffs for a while.
And how he, put together a system during the pandemics where they could still have outreach. And the fact that he was willing to show up, and even after he left and was with the Temple Police Department, he was still willing. If they called him, he would show up
Yep.
in his free time, his personal time, to do what needed to be done to help in the community.
It's always great to see somebody who did what they wanted to do since they were little. All he wanted to do was be a cop. He talked about being a cop all the time. Ben, where do you see them?
Girard.
They're on Girard now?
Yeah, they just crossed.
Okay.
And so now they're passing the Met.
Yeah. Still up on North Broad. In fact, two things he talked about. I talked to some of his colleagues, police officers for Temple University. There's a couple things he really liked. Sports and watching TV news. He was totally into that. They called him a news nerd. And then all the sports activities and running. Remember the run club like you mentioned?
And they've been hosting a number of runs in his honor and remembering him because they want to carry on with what he helped contribute to. They want to make sure that his legacy is continued through the run club and through the different community services that he did.
Yeah, hopefully they'll start maybe an annual run in his honor. That'd be something nice to do.
In the upper right-hand corner, we're showing pictures from his family, and that's with his cousin. And his cousin told us on this show that he was the reason why he graduated. He told him, look, you're going to go back in there and you're going to graduate. You're going to get that diploma. And then when he did, he was one of the first people in line to congratulate him for doing that.
Oh, I remember seeing a picture a few days ago of his dad pinning the badge on him at the police academy. Mom and dad and the police, law enforcement as well. You'll have to bring that into the light. Spring Garden? They're at Spring Garden now? I'm recognizing that area now. So headed back southbound.
As they make their way into the city and make their way to the cathedral, where the crowds have been growing as more people get ready to receive him and prepare for the final viewing and for the funeral services.
And you said the pallbearers that will take him out of the hearse are all Temple cops?
They are
I
being
think the majority of them?
Yes, they are being called body bearers from Temple Police.
So going by police headquarters right now, that is, well, the police department is basically at Broad and Callow Hill. That's exactly where they just crossed, that intersection there. So they're almost getting down to the City Hall area. They'll make a right turn and then head over to the Basilica.
And once again, we want to remind you that, once this viewing started, it is open to the public. So anyone is able to come and pay their respects, and the family will be arriving later.
Just past Roman Catholic High School there. Just crossed over the Vine Street Expressway. Crossing Race Street now. I would think then they would take a right onto Arch, possibly. See a fire truck out there. in a form of tribute. Yeah, they're probably, I don't know, they might go around City Hall or just take the right turn on Arch. We shall see. The scene in front of the Basilica, my goodness, this group of police officers has grown rapidly. And they've been out there since before 7 o'clock this morning.
Mm-hmm. And we're seeing a mixture. We see police officers, we see members of the community who are already outside and waiting for their chance so they can pay their respects as well. Because as we know, last night at the wake at the funeral home, the line was long to get in. So many people just wanted to come in and pay their respects.
So let's alert Jennifer's camera. They should be almost to you, to that location. What we're looking at, we're looking toward the art museum on the big box on the left-hand side here. And I believe they're just now showing up. So our camera location is right in front of the Basilica, looking toward the art museum.
And you see the beginning of the motorcade as they are pulling up.
Jennifer, are you there? Can you see them?
Hey guys, yes, so we're starting to see the line of motorcycles pulling up here. We started hearing the sirens just a short distance away now. We heard that this is going to be a very long procession, but yes, we're starting to see the first signs of the procession arriving here at the Basilica. Of course, there are a lot of police officers, as well as you mentioned members of the fire department, pipes and drums, honor guard. They've been in formation waiting for the past hour for the arrival of Sergeant Fitzgerald's casket. It looks like the hearse is arriving right now.
As they prepare right now at the cathedral, we just want to remind you that Sergeant Fitzgerald's body will be transferred by pallbearers from the Temple University Police Department. And then you're seeing Reverend G. Dennis Gill, who's the rector of the Cathedral Basilica of Saints Peter and Paul. He's presiding over the reception of the body. And then the public visitation will immediately follow.
So what they're waiting on now here
Well, they're opening it up.
are the Temple police officers to get out of their vehicles and come over and then become pallbearers. And we'll be quiet till that happens. Is incredibly sad and so uncalled for.
And you can see the emotion in some of the officers' eyes. And they're comforting each other in this moment.
So Father Gill now inside the Basilica has accepted the body of Sergeant Christopher Fitzgerald. Jennifer, I know you're standing right there. That was powerful.
Yeah, I mean, my heart feels so heavy just watching all of that happen with Sergeant Christopher Fitzgerald's casket arriving here. You know, you guys have been mentioning the Temple University Police Department pallbearers. You have to imagine these are men who were working alongside him every single day after he joined Temple University Police in 2021. I mean, last year he was the Officer of the Year. He received that award. So he was an officer who was looked at with distinction for serving the community here. And we want to mention that the Vice President of Public Safety at Temple, Jennifer Griffin, she was standing in the front row as well. Many members of law enforcement from out of state who will be joining the funeral services today. But just, wow, I mean, again, just hearts are so heavy, a lot of hugging some tears. And, you know, this is only just the beginning. Visitation will begin promptly at 8 a.m., we're told. That will last for a couple hours until those words of remembrance are shared, including Dr. Griffin, as well as Sergeant Fitzgerald's uncle, who is also a pastor. But yes, now we're starting to see some of the police officers begin filing into the Basilica. I checked on their website, and it looks like they could have seating capacity up to 1,500. And of course, some of the information that we've been receiving, this is open to the public, so you have to imagine they'll have standing room as well. And for people who aren't able to get inside the Basilica, they even have a huge projector that they have now displayed out front. So we're expecting so many members of the community, likely many from Temple University, students, faculty, staff that he interacted with and, you know, worked so diligently protecting. And the family, they'll be arriving here in a couple hours as well. So we'll continue to stay on the scene and bring you further updates, guys.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the tears from all of us, it's because we're thinking of those kids and his wife. How their life changed in an instant Saturday night.
And thinking of all the work that he did.
Oh my
that
God.
He dedicated so much time and so much effort into stopping the violence.
And then get just his life snuffed out in seconds. If you do want to donate to his family, I just want to remind everybody that GoFundMe is still up and running.
The goal has now been raised to $600,000. And like you mentioned, of course, he's a wife and children.
A bunch of kids, you know. My goodness. By the way, we will stream Sergeant Fitzgerald's funeral on our website. The Archdiocese is going to provide cameras inside of the Basilica. That will start, it should start right on time at 11:30 this morning. All right.
But of course, we will continue to provide coverage and go back to the scene there at the Cathedral as more people will show up and want to pay their respects during the public viewing.